Congressman Lee, CD18, that's down in the Houston area, Congressman Charles Gonzalez, Congressman Ciro Rodriguez, Congressman Ortiz, Congressman Henry Cuellar, Congressman Jeannie Green, Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson. Those folks need to hear from us in a major way. It would be awesome to have every congressman in Texas signed on as co-sponsors of this bill. So the new petitions, again, are on the Campaign for Liberty website. I invite you to print those off, but also there are copies of that available for you here today. By the same token, those of you who are fortunate enough to live in a congressional district where your congressman has been a sponsor, and I got to give kudos to Ted Poe out of the Houston area who was a co-sponsor within a few days. Let's take those guys a note of thanks, a food basket or something on Tuesday to let them know we really appreciate their support. And then I have just this words of encouragement for you. You know, this is not new ideology. The idea of a paper currency that's printed at the whim of a few private individuals is something that Americans have started dealing with in 2009. I've got a few parts I want to read to you. Some of you will have heard these before, but I think you'll appreciate Thomas Jefferson. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and the corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of all property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. That's pretty powerful information. Then from Theodore Roosevelt, issuance of currency should be lodged with the government and be protected from domination by Wall Street. We are opposed to provisions which would place our currency and credit system in private hands. Some of you will remember that Woodrow Wilson, towards the end of his life, said, "I am a most unhappy man. I have unwittingly ruined my country. A great industrial nation is controlled by a system of credit. Our system of credit is privately concentrated. The growth of the nation, therefore, and all our activities are in the hands of a few men. We have come to be one of the worst ruled, one of the most completely controlled and dominated governments in the civilized world. No longer a government by free opinion, no longer a government by conviction and the vote of the majority, but a government by the opinion and duress of small groups of dominant men." And finally, from George Washington. George Washington, not a new problem. And George Washington, but if in the pursuit of the means we should unfortunately stumble again on unfunded paper money or any similar species of fraud, we shall assuredly give a fatal stab to our national credit in its infancy. Paper money will invariably operate in the body of politics as spirit liquors on the human body. They prey on the vitals and ultimately destroy them. Paper money has had the effect of the state that it will ever have to ruin commerce, oppress the honest, and open the door to every species of fraud and injustice. This institution has got to go. I appreciate your support in that regard. I look forward to working with everybody.
Thank you, gentlemen. Dina. Alright, so we now know that there are a lot of people, a lot of Congress people, that do understand that we have to audit the Fed. So let's talk to another guy right now who is running for City Council here in Dallas. Really, it's very important to start at the local level. no problem. The free market would have never done this. When more